y'all. Today I'm going to discuss trust and signs to look for when meeting new people. It's especially important for travelers and nomads to know signs of untrustworthy people. We meet new people often and we don't have time to know everything about them. And this goes for people in bricks and sticks too. I want to list some key signs and traits of people you need to stay away from and not share your personal information with. The first issue to look for is excessive charm. Charming people know how to manipulate others. Oh yeah. And they learn this at a very early age. They say around 6. They don't come at you saying, hey, I'm a toxic person, I'm a narcissist. No, they entangle you with charm and then it's too late. You are emotionally entangled and involved with a very toxic person. We need to develop our radar before getting involved with toxic people we shouldn't trust. Now, this is especially true for us nomads and travelers. We meet people on the road. We want friends. We want to trust somebody. We want to talk to them and share stories and ideas. Now, I do want to warn you, don't get worried or paranoid about this subject. Only 5% of the population is like what we're really going to talk about, the extreme cases. But you want to see the signs beforehand before you really let them into your life. Don't always judge people by their words because of their charm. You need to judge them by the character deep inside them. But how can we do that if we've just met them and we're on the road and we need to meet people quickly? There's a part of our human nature that takes what we see as reality. We take first appearances and words as reality when we meet people. But it takes longer to know them by observing who they are. Body language is really a second language of all humans and animals, and humans are like animals. Animals know instinctively what other animals are all about, and that includes humans. We need to develop reading and understanding body language because this is our radar system. It's our survival system. Now, words can matter, and I did read about a study discovered that all psychopaths use familiar words and word structures, but that's for another whole discussion here. We also need to observe people's patterns in life as we get to know them. What are their patterns in life, in relationships, in habits? And this will tell you a lot before you become emotionally entangled with people. For example, if they tell you their past relationships are all the other person's fault, know that something is wrong here. They aren't telling you the truth. Some people have an infecting power on you. Recognize these people and feel that and get your radar going before you ever get involved with them. Pay attention to non-verbal cues. Narcissists have an animated face, but they have deadness in their eyes. They listen to you, but you can sense that they're listening to themselves inside. Their face is alive, but their eyes are dead. It's easy to judge, but you know what? We all have a lot of these qualities at different times. We all have these qualities to a certain extent. But don't worry, if you are a narcissist, you wouldn't really worry about it. You probably aren't one if you're worried. Or if you're worried you're a toxic person, you probably most likely aren't. But there are cases where you could be toxic to certain people and they could be toxic to you just on an individual basis. It just depends on the personality that you're dealing with and they're dealing with you. If you can get away from a toxic person, do it. If your radar goes off, it's not worth it. It will take years to get rid of this trustworthy person and heal from it. If you work with someone like this, it might be actually better to quit your job. Some people never recover from entanglement with an evil person. Now, my personal experience, I worked with an abusive bully and narcissist years ago. She was friendly at first, but she soon became an enemy, and an enemy by mistake. What happened was I expressed to my new coworkers that an exam for employment at that place was very easy, and it was. I later learned she had failed that exam several times. She was soon out to get me. And she made my life hell there. I left the job within months. Most businesses do not know how to deal with bullies, even though they do express concern about this issue. And yes, adults bully other adults. It's not just a child issue. Now, if you're married to a narcissist or a toxic person, you need to be able to detach your emotions from them. When they see you aren't getting upset, it will affect them. A narcissist loves seeing their victims upset. So the best advice really is to develop our radar and recognize toxic people before you get involved with them. Nomads need this. As nomads, we need to have our radar on call often. We can't trust all fellow nomads. There are many types out here traveling. I suggest you stay private about your information and keep people at arm's length for a time until you know for certain they are trustworthy. Here are some signs a person isn't trustworthy, and I want to go over them briefly. Number one, they play the victim in almost every story about themselves. It was always someone else's fault. Number two, they are quick to judge and slow to praise others. They have a general negative outlook. I assure you they won't be good listeners, or they won't be good, compassionate people. We don't want people close to us that are negative and won't show compassion. Number three, they exaggerate and tell half-truths. I'm going to elaborate on this. Something just seems to be off in the story. Well, I want to add to this, though. In this day and age of social media, many people are much more private about themselves. We have to take into account our need to protect our children, our family, etc. from stalkers. One slip of info can open up an avenue of information that they could get at our families. Also, a new person you meet might distrust you as much as you distrust them. Just last week, a podcaster and her husband were murdered by a stalker in Washington State. It's extremely important to remain private about your information. Number four, they pass off insults as jokes. They insult you and make fun of some aspect about yourself and push it off as, oh, I'm just kidding around. This is a bully trait. Avoid these people. Number five, their opinion is the only one that matters. Their debate skills are undeveloped. They don't know how to discuss issues, and they over-talk you most of the time. Number six, they're devious and controlling. Well, yeah, duh. They disrespect your boundaries. They come into your van without asking. They touch items of yours freely. It's important to have boundaries and to let others know what they are so that you can sort of gauge, is this person trustworthy? Number 8, I believe, they make excuses for their behavior and they deflect blame onto others. We all do this at times. It's important to pay attention when this happens all too often and their body language seems off. Like I said, sometimes we have these traits at different times, so don't worry. They have a way of making you feel like you owe them. They make you feel guilty and they make you feel like there is something wrong with you. And the last one is their social circles change a lot. For nomads, this is particularly difficult to observe because we haven't really had time, to get to know them. So don't trust people blindly, especially in the nomad world. Toxic people need to be detected before you get involved with them. Watch their body language. Make it your second language, like English your second language, Spanish your second language, body language your second language. To get more information on how to read body language, I'm going to suggest Milton Erickson and Robert Greene for more information. You're going to need to develop a second language of body language if we're going to survive in this world recently. So I want to thank you for spending time with me today. I enjoy your company too. Please subscribe and give me a thumbs up. And share this video with family or friends. This one is kind of an important one, so share it. It really helps me. So till tomorrow, go to minivanlee.com for cool items that you will enjoy and that support me. I love you guys. Good things are coming your way. Hey, y'all. I also want to mention that I do have some more neck gaiters. When I went through all my stuff in the back, that I did find that they were all bagged up. They're all perfectly wonderful. I store things in those great big jumbo baggies, those hefty bags. And I have I have quite a few, some of the colors that I didn't have before. So please go to minivanlee.com and look if you're interested in neck gaiters. Now, do I wear them in the summer? You bet I do. I spray them down and it cools me down. And then I've got only a few glasses. I got like four more pair of glasses. I got the Lee style and the Glenna style. And whoops, I got my share. Somebody suggested, oh, get some purple. Well, I did get some purple here. And don't you, I love it. I absolutely love it. Let's see, what else did I want to talk about and just update you on? The exercise videos. Oh my gosh. I hadn't got an order for the exercise videos for a while, and I thought, well, that's weird. I looked and the link was broken. It was broken off. Well, I didn't do it. You know, those things just happen on websites. So I want to let you know the link is up and running. So I've got really good exercise videos. Let's get in shape. Spring is here. Summer's coming. And you know, you want to look good in your clothes and you want to be comfortable. I'm going to mention that if you're in Southern Arizona, you live here on a regular basis or in a really hot climate or a very humid climate. When you are overweight, it's so uncomfortable. Let's check our eating and let's get exercising, everybody. I really recommend it, you know, to get healthy, look good in your clothes. Yeah. So go to minivanlee.com. I've got glasses. I've got the neck gaiters, and I've got the exercise video. I do have the book. You can get that on Amazon, but there's a link on my website if you need to go there. If you go on Amazon.com, just type in Minivan Lee and it will come up. It's not an expensive book, and it's a wonderful book. I believe it's the best nomad book ever, and it's good for high tops, not just minivans, but it's called How to Live in a Minivan, and then the Minivan Lee way. So it's got good lists to get you going. So bye, everybody. Love you again. Bye.